But what about these people that live in your house? You know, who are these people that live in your house? And why don't they really know you? So I just ran the numbers mentally on what that was. And I just decided I'd done 20 years. I'm going to go focus on my family. I did not focus on my family when I was in the SEAL teams at all. The teams was, I was married to the teams. I was married to the teams, and my wife and family came second. And that's not, I think I needed to give something to them. Maybe if I'd been more balanced, you know, maybe I could have sorted it out, but I wasn't very balanced. I was in the teams, and I love the teams. And I felt like, yeah, if I can't give the teams everything, then it's probably not gonna be the best thing.
Do you still battle with that decision?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, man.
When did you retire?
2010.
Fuck.
15 years ago.
15 years. You're
Yep.
still battling that decision.
Yep.
Why?
The teams gave me everything.
You gave the teams everything.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing better than going to work in the teams. You know? You and I just got all giddy going out to dump some rounds out there. You know what I mean? You and me were kind of like in a different, like we were like a couple kids out there. And you and I used to do that all day, every day until we were sick of it.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. And it was hard because I had to go tell my chain of command. And it was hard for me to go tell the admiral, go tell the commodore, then tell my teammates. You know, that sucked because you're a quitter, you know, and I was not a quitter, and now I'm going to quit. When I left Team One, they used to say if you got out of the teams, you're a quitter, right? And I said, when I left Team One, I said, because I was an enlisted guy and I was going to become an officer, and I said, hey, the only thing worse than a quitter is a traitor. And I'm now going to the dark side, you know. But yeah, quitting the teams was bad. But at the same time, I remember cleaned out my cage the last day and had great time at Tradet. And, that's when Ryan Job, who had been wounded so bad, he died from complications from his medical stuff. That was while I was at Tradet. And, again, that was one of those things where it almost like hooked me back in, because just knowing that Ryan, he's another guy, like he was blind, bro. And I talked to him on the phone. He's like, can I come back? He wants to come back to Ramadi. He can't see. He wants to come back to Ramadi. Like, this is the kind of guy that I'm going to abandon right now to get out of the Navy and do some other whatever, like nothing else matters. So that was, another thing that kind of almost hooked me. But again, I'd go home and see my kids, see my son. You have three daughters I had 3 daughters and 1 son at this point. You go home and see them and they're like, what's your name again? Or who are you again? Like, that is an equal thing that's starting to pull.
How old was your oldest?
She was born in 1999. So she was 11.
Wow.
Yeah. And my youngest doesn't even know. My son can remember because I would he was on training trips as a young kid, as like a little kid. He was hucking grenades and shooting machine guns and paintballs
awesome.
and all that stuff. So he remembers all that stuff.
Did you have a tough time integrating in with your family?
Not really.
Did they have a tough time integrating with you?
Not really.
That's good. You don't hear that very often.
Yeah, I always left my work at work. I always tell police officers and military people, like, take your uniform off when you go home. Don't leave it on. Take it off and put on a pair of, for me, it's flip-flop surf shorts and a t-shirt, and be in that mode as opposed to keeping your uniform on. So I felt like it was pretty, yeah. Another weird thing that always freaked out, like Leif and Seth, is I never swore in front of my family. Yeah. Well, I would, and, meanwhile in the teams, every third word was an F-bomb. And I'd come home and just never swear. Because it was almost like I had like a mental deviation when I went home and I was that guy. And then at work, I was the team guy.
Man, I wish I could do that. Maybe I can. Just try harder.